We are live, Ogle. Talk to him.
All right, welcome to the channel, everybody. I'm OGL. That's my partner, Danny Lee OGT. He's a tool. He's a wrench now. So this channel was built on a number of things, rock and roll amongst them. But it was built on Layne Staley. Is really the patron saint of custom creator. There's probably around 30 some odd videos of Layne Staley for including reactions. So we want to do some more Layne. I think we may have done a reaction from one of the Alice in Chains Unplugged tracks, but I'm not sure if we have or not. But this one actually does have a story to it. And you know that story better than I do, my friend.
Well, I knew part of the story for a while, but now I know the whole story. So a lot of people ask why the friends don't let friends get haircuts is written on Mike Inez's face. Well, a lot of people know that it's for Metallica. Also, a lot of people know that one of the reasons Layne Staley messes up on Sludge Factory several times, but they only show one time on this video, is because the band was a little nervous because the executives from MTV are right there for Unplugged, and the song Sludge Factory was made in response to these executives. So that's why they don't play the last part of it. Also, the part I did not know in all this is Metallica was sitting there front row at this concert to put a cherry on top of all that, if you will. So this is the main reason they wrote the Friends Don't Let Friends Get Haircuts. It was kind of a friendly poke at each other at this point, because it had been a few years since the '94 when they canceled the tour to go on out with Metallica because of Layne's terrifying behavior, is the way MTV put it. So also, this is one of his last performances, and it's one of the first performances he had been back from since these things went down. So yeah, I think that's all I got, except for I love you, Layne. I miss you, buddy. I commend you for being a hero and standing up and letting everybody know you were a drug addict and that it wasn't fun. All the times you went to rehab trying to get clean should be a major red flag for you to be the most demonized singer I've ever seen for doing drugs. And you can put Elvis, you can put everybody in there. I've never seen anyone as demonized as Layne Staley for taking drugs.
And I think while you guys are watching this video, just give a shout out to Jerry Cantrell. He's a super talented guy, great songwriter, great singer, great guitarist, sort of laboring in Layne's shadow, but doing everything he can to keep Layne's memory alive and keep making good music. So, Jerry, we love you. Just Layne commands a lot of attention.
I don't think Jerry deserves it all. He's put in a very hard situation.
Yeah.
I do think Jerry deserves to be in any top 10 great guitarists of any genre, anytime it's mentioned, and he hardly, very rarely ever is.
He's such a key part of Alice in Chains sound.
There's a little fact that I wasn't even really aware of or hadn't put the time frames together until the last year or so. I seen Jerry Cantrell in 2002, about September or something, just a few months after Layne had passed. I think Layne passed April 5th, same day as Kurt Cobain. Or neither one of them were found on their death day, so it was an approximation for both. But they were both pronounced dead on April 5th. And so it was like September or something when I seen them in Charlotte, and Days of the New opened for Jerry Cantrell, who was touring as Jerry Cantrell while Layne's still alive now. And right after Layne passed, sorry, I just said that, but he had been touring as Jerry Cantrell before that. And they opened for Metallica to get really ironic here on this members only video at the time. We may release it, but we've definitely both heard this song, so it's not new to me at all. It's a little newer to OGL than me, but
we figured we'd do something
yeah.
special for the members, the OG team, if you will.
Yeah, you guys deserve it. I talk about Layne Staley a lot. I'm not sure all of you are familiar with the man and his voice and his story. I remember no one ever saying Layne was a prick or was violent with anyone or was stuck up. Layne was a very humble individual who was very honest about his demons, tried to seclude himself when he was all of the tabloids as being the super drug addict, and then even in seclusion, they kept demonizing him then because he was in seclusion. So, not really sure what the man could have done to be any better. I love the story of him and Maynard passing notes back and forth on napkins because talking was getting in the way of their drinking. I think that's why Layne enjoyed being around Maynard, because Maynard didn't judge him as a drug addict, but yet wasn't a drug addict himself in the context of addictive drugs other than psychedelics, because Maynard's probably done every psychedelic there is. So with that being said, let's get into this. Sludge Factory.
Oh yeah,
MTV.
Unplugged.
Except Kurt Cobain's version. He did not unplug his guitar. He cheated just a little, but we love you anyway, Kurt. Well,
No, we don't.
I do. All right. Oh, never mind. This is not House of Change. That is a cool song, though. Sorry.
Great song, no doubt. Great song. Guys, if you're not familiar with Layne and the story, you're in the right channel. We've got a video or two about Layne here.
There are a few. Well, I won't put the full screen thing come up there. Okay, my mics were muted too, so sorry guys for all that. I'll probably cut that little part out. If I don't, sorry, I forgot. I'm going to try to remember. Anyway, yeah, let's color the mics back off and let's do it. All right, everyone. I just cut a lot of that out. It was Nutshell. It wasn't even Sludge Factory. So here we go. Sludge Factory. House of Change. Let me mute my mic. So that just shows you it's absolutely live. Because if you watch behind MTV, this happened many times. Because there's a guy that speaks to scream out, "Quit fucking up the lyrics," and that's what he says. What are we doing here? There was a commercial back then. I forget what the commercial is. I can't remember it for my life, but some kind of like Mikey Likes It Life commercial or something. So when he quotes it, that's why everybody laughs. But OGL, what you got to say real quick?
That just goes to show that even the best of us can screw up sometimes, and it's just how you recover.
I don't like to, but when people try to downplay Layne's talents because of maybe personal vendettas against certain things or whatever, the reason I tell them a man that couldn't hardly hold his eyes open, who weighed less than 100 pounds, who had already been deteriorated and didn't have hardly any teeth left, done one of the best performances that are on YouTube or in music history, period, not just Unplugged. This is one of the most Googled concerts in music, period, is the Alice in Chains Unplugged. It is by far the most popular one out of everyone that's ever done it. Yeah, that's saying Pearl Jam's was great. Nirvana's was good. I know he ain't going to think so, but it was.
It wasn't.
Go ahead.
That sucks. But, Layne is clearly enfeebled here, and he's lost a little bit of power in his voice, but Layne at 75%, 70%, still going to blow away most of the motherfuckers out there. Pardon my French. But yeah.
I mean, a lot of people can sing as well, but Layne definitely had the most powerful voice I had ever heard in rock and roll, and lots of people agreed. So you could hear him over the PA, hear him well over the PA, even when it was loud. So.
And it has that distinct, big nasal sound. It's unmistakable. It's probably the most distinctive voice, aside from maybe someone like Ozzy. Then, Layne obviously is a much better singer than Ozzy ever was. So.
Well, someone said, except for that Layne never portrayed this, and Layne paid homage to many of the singers before him. Mm. Also, Ann Wilson is a pretty good judge, I would say, and been around for a while. And she said the first time she ever seen Layne, she knew that he had it. She said he had it.
Yeah.
And it was like something different, something special. And every time they put memes up on YouTube, almost every time, okay, when they compare Chris, Layne, Eddie, Scott Weiland, all the grunge singers, Eddie Vedder, Layne is almost always the one that wins percentage-wise. Mm-hmm. And they had one the other day, and Layne was the only one they were missing, so I put on there, I guess Layne has won too many of these. Maybe that was a little spiteful, but...
Got to make it fair,
Let's, we'll probably listen to most of this, so... Did you just not turn your mic off? If not, it's been off the whole time.
No, I just now turned it off.
Okay.
And I turned it back on. So.
What's my motivation here? That was a commercial.
We're allowed a couple of those. It's been a while. You guys just get to hear more, that's all. That's how these things go. All right, let's try one more time. What are you guys looking at, man?
What's my motivation here? Insult me in my home, you're forgiven this time. Things go well, your eyes dilate, you shaking. I'm high. Look in my eyes deep and watch the clouds change with time. 20 hours won't print my picture, milk carton size. Carton. Besides brilliance, let's say by day 9. Corporate ignorance, let's be control time. By the way, once again to see it in discolored skin gives you away. So
corporate ignorance lets me control time. There's no pressure without brilliance, let's say by day 9. 20 hours won't print my picture in milk carton size. If you're not familiar with that, back in the day when a kid would get lost, they would put their picture on a milk carton. And that was the emergency, the child thing that comes across now that,
Amber Alert.
Yeah, Amber Alert. That was the Amber Alert back in the day. It was a milk carton. So that's what it's
pre-internet days. We did what we could.
And I'm not even sure if that's falsetto he kicked in. That's something that may be higher. That was beautiful, though.
Definitely, yeah. Definitely a big register shift there. Layne didn't do that very often, but when he knew how to make it work.
And he said, you gargle out a date for me. He's talking about the record execs who, man, it's almost over. Look at that. So, yeah, but I mean, we've been doing it for a while, so we won't back it up far.
Body of one soul I adore wants to die. You have always told me you'd not live past 25. I say stay long enough to repay all who crossed strife.
Yeah, there's a whole other part after that, but you know, they didn't play it. Layne was not in his best condition that night for sure. And that's where it really goes in deep on the record label. So
Yeah, you can't tell by listening to him. I mean, he was just doing a lot of stuff where it's like just doing a lot of runs with random A and O vowels, and it sounded great. Like he was in good vocal form. I like it when a band that has a really big kind of noisy, beefy sound strips down and does an acoustic set, because you can tell more about them. You can get more of their influences. Like you and I have discussed this. Jerry's a fan of a lot of old school country music, so in a lot of
that's
these,
all I heard growing up.
Yeah, you can really tell that in a lot of these unplugged sessions. I mean, it's obvious in songs like "Don't Follow," but yeah, just these acoustic.
Well, what was the name of the song with Willie? Jerry got to meet Willie because Willie Nelson done an album where a lot of the younger rock and roll stars would and sing one of his songs, and
it was something called.
Jerry Cottrell picked one called
I've had as much of this world as I can stand.
Yeah, I've had as much of this world as I can stand.
Yeah.
And Willie talked to him after everybody kind of thinned out and said, "Man, why did you pick that song? Nobody knows about that song." So I was in a really dark place when I wrote that song. Jerry said, "Well, I kind of like those songs, man." This was just a few years after Layne passed, so Jerry would have been in a dark place. And let's just for the record say that none of the guys were in a great place. I mean,
right.
Obviously, Layne was the one that couldn't beat it, and he let that be known a while back. And a lot of people think that's Demery, and it was Demery, but Layne wrote in a children's book when he was 9 years old, and this chokes me up when I think about it. Because his dad took off when he was like 3 or 4, and by taking off, I mean he disappeared. Yeah. There wasn't no, I know Dad's there, I know he's not talking to me, or there wasn't no, Dad's over here with a woman, don't pay me enough attention. There was a, Dad's here, and now Dad's gone. And there was no more Dad till Layne was famous. But he wrote in this book at 9 years old, "I'm going to grow up to be a rock star so my dad will want to see me again." Those might not be the exact words, but basically my dad will love me again. I could find my dad again, something to that effect. And this wasn't, I thought it was more Demery too until there's a reactor. I forget your name, friend. I wish I would promote you right now because you did a great job. I don't like any of his reactions, whoever the hell he was, but this one was not your average reaction. And it was talking about how that single event, those words in that book, was the inevitable demise of Layne, because when he did get famous, because he went out and did what he said when he was 9 years old. Yeah. He went and became a rock star. So if this shows you how much that man wanted to be around, wanted his dad's attention, wanted to just know what happened to his dad, understand why his dad just dropped out of the universe. And then one day a knock came at the door, and it was his father, and he was already had been on, the H, the tar, and they started doing it together, and not saying Layne could have stopped, but I'm saying it wasn't just Demery why he gave up, because every time he did go to rehab, well, next thing you know, guess who knocks on the door? I'm sick. I feel bad. Let's get something. And there was endless money there. The money was still coming in all the time from just proceeds off of the albums and such. It's hard enough to tell your friends no when they want you to go back and do this thing that you want to do so bad already, and you're trying to fight it because it's probably going to consume your life. It's hard enough to, even if it was a parental influence. But imagine if it was the one person that drove you to fame that at 9 years old you said you were going to find by doing that. Imagine that much drive and willpower. And to say he didn't have enough willpower to kick the drugs is bullshit, in my opinion. And I'm sorry to get very upset over that, but I think there's no way you can tell me that a man had enough drive to become a rock star to find his father, but he couldn't have quit that. I'll speak no more of my feelings beneath. OGL, what you think, bud?
Also, you have to take into account he was obviously able to turn it into a positive, or he's able to use it for motivation. But growing up, the young man needs his dad there. That's an important part of, and just the idea of that uncertainty, not knowing where he's at or why he left. Yeah, like that's going to do steady damage to someone, even if they're able to weaponize it. It's still going to leave its mark. But again, like you said, Layne achieved what he said he was going to do. He became a rock star. He became famous, and he became a revered singer. One thing I've noticed is that singers from almost every era will praise Layne. 80s musicians love him. Not for guys from his time love him. People, more modern singers love him. I think it's because, number one, he's an amazing talent vocally. Real quick about his vocals, you mentioned Jerry doing a Willie Nelson song. The more I think about it, like the nasal sound that can somehow open up, if you took Willie Nelson and like bombarded him with gamma radiation to where he hulks out, he would probably turn into Layne Staley. Because like there are similar like sonic signatures to their sound. Layne's is just Willie's is more laid back and Layne's is more amped up and aggressive. But lost my train of thought there briefly. But yeah, it's also because of Layne's character. He was a humble.
You got a contact from Willie, probably.
He's even thinking about the deal get you high. But yeah, Layne was a very humble, nice, gentle soul. It seems. Like Denny said, I've never heard anyone say anything bad about him as a human being, who was just tragically victimized by things he was unable to control. That's a sad story, but like we like to do on the channel here, we want to celebrate this man's body of work, not dwell on his passing.
If you're not into heavy music, there's a song called Ring Those Bells. We got it on the channel. It's with Heart. It's after the 93 Lollapalooza. Layne was in town for one day, and Chris Cornell was supposed to do it, but his management, there were something going on where they wouldn't, they did the song, recorded it and everything, and then the management of Chris Cornell wouldn't let it be released. So I don't know what the deal is there. I'm not going to blame Chris for it, but or the management. I really don't know who to blame for that. That's kind of my point. But they tried to get Robert Plant. They tried to get many people to do it, and everyone was too busy or couldn't make it. And basically, when they were almost out of options, they was like, oh, Layne's right down the street, so let's get him. And Layne came in and on his only day off, did the song.
Yeah, Layne
and
stepped
sings,
up.
I got a documentary that I will put in the end screen that that talks about this. It has I made it. Seb's Duran played it on his channel for us and put the name of our custom creator and everything in the description link. I'm not gonna play you that reaction because well, I'm just gonna play the tribute.
It's a great song though. It's a different kind of song for Layne to sing, but Layne absolutely kills it. Absolutely kills it. Does a great job.
Actually, Seb's reaction is really good to that song because that's the one he wanted to put on his Christmas list. Yeah, I remember it. It really was. But I mean, it's a documentary. I just wanted to throw it out there. Anyway, love you all. Rock in Paradise, R.I.P. Layne Staley. You are still relevant right now, and you've been gone all these years. So if they're talking about you good or bad, brother, your memory remains, to quote the band in the front row.
As long as we're talking about them, they're immortal.
Yeah, I meant memory remains like Metallica. In the front row. Yeah.
I heard what you did.
Okay. I love Metallica, man. So we'll give them all their respect here. Love you guys. Mental health is real. Be a part of the start. We built this city on rock and roll. You're not an island. Funny fact, Maynard James Keenan and Layne Staley happen to have different names than that. They're even weirder than those. Layne Rutherford Staley and Herbert James Keenan.
Herbert.
So, shout out to you two guys for getting rid of those fucking terrible names. Layne don't like to be called that, so I
Do
wouldn't
not
do it
walk up to
him.
Maynard and say, "What's up, Herbert?" But you'll probably get choked out. I'm just saying.
Better to be within the rhythm.
Yes.
Never seen somebody, I'm getting choked out. Watch the pan incident with Maynard James Keenan. All right, I'm out of here. Love you all.
Love y'all.